What's up guys, Nick here. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you're all having a wonderful day, as am I. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the channel if you're new here. Today, we're going to be talking about how to edit multiple resolution footage on the same timeline. So say you have some epic drone footage that, maybe captured in 4K, 30 or something. Then you got some epic 1080p slow motion, maybe 60 or 120 if you have the ability. And then say you have your typical 4K 24p or maybe 1080 24p, whatever you have the ability to do. But how do we take all these different frame rates and different resolutions and put them all on the same timeline to make one cohesive video or sequence, as you would call it in Premiere? So what do you say we jump onto the computer and I'll show you guys a little hack, little trick, I guess you could say. Not really a hack. It's a function inside the software itself on how we can do this and just help save tons of headaches down the road and just make your guys' life that much easier. So I'll see you guys over at the computer, because that one behind me, it don't work. Okay guys, so in order to edit multiple resolutions on the same timeline, first you're gonna obviously have to open Premiere Pro. Go ahead and set all your new project settings, and once you get to this page, this is where you're gonna have to make a decision. You're gonna have to decide if you're gonna use a 4K timeline or a 1080p timeline. And generally how I make that decision is if the majority of my footage was either shot in 4K with a few 1080p clips thrown in, I'll choose a 4K timeline, and vice versa. If the majority of the footage was shot in 1080p with a few 4K clips, I'll choose the 1080p timeline. And keep in mind that when you're downscaling 4K to 1080p, you're gonna get a little bit sharper image than that original 1080p footage. And same goes for when you're upscaling 1080p to 4K, the original 4K footage is going to be a little sharper than that upscaled footage. So just keep that in mind and try to keep the timeline to complement the majority of the footage shot. And so with that said, let's go ahead and start here. So we will hit this little new items button and we'll come up to sequence. And right here, we're gonna do a 4K to start off with. So we'll do this red, HD 4K, 16 by 9, 23.976, or 24 frames. And this is, you don't have to pick this preset. This just seems to work the best for all of my 4K footage. So let's name this multi-res 4K, and we'll go ahead and hit OK. And then we'll start dragging our clips in. There's that guy, there's that guy. There's that one, and that one. We can go ahead and get rid of this audio because we don't need that for this tutorial. And now we'll scrub through our timeline, and this is what it looks like. So as you can see, the 4K footage is playing just fine. Then when we get to our first 1080p footage, that doesn't look right. And back to 4K, 2.7K, not looking right, and 1080p once again, not looking right. So how do we fix this, guys? How do we make everything look the same and make it to where you can't really tell it was shot in different resolutions? So there's a couple ways we can go about this. The first way, what we can do is we can highlight the clip you wanna edit. Go ahead and right click and click set to frame size. And what's that gonna do is gonna set your image to that 4K settings, and you're good to go. But say you have, 100 different clips on here, and you're not going to want to, click, right click, set to frame, click, right click. Like, that is very tedious, time consuming, and annoying. And nobody wants to do that. We don't want to right click, highlight all these different clips, right? So what can we do? How can we do this one step easier? So we're going to delete everything off of here real quick because we need a fresh timeline for this to work properly. And what we're going to do is we're going to come up to edit, we're going to go preferences, and then we're going to go media. And then right here, it's the fourth option down. It says default media scaling. It's set to none by default. And so what we're going to do is we're going to change it to set to frame size, not scale to frame size. I'm not 100% sure why I don't use that. I just know it doesn't work for me all the time. So this, I haven't ever had an issue with the set to frame size, so I just stick with that. Don't fix if it's not broken, right? Push OK. And now once again, if we drag our footage onto our timeline here, we should be able to scrub through and everything should look exactly the same and should fit right in frame, and you're good to go. So I can't tell you how much time that saved me in the past of going through. I've shot videos that have thousands of different video clips, and half of them were shot at one resolution and the other half at a different, and you had to go through and manually convert every single clip one at a time, and that was super annoying. So I love this little trick here. It saved me, like I said, I don't know how much time since I've learned it, and so I hope I can teach you guys something here and save you guys some time and make filmmaking and editing fun again. And I'll see you guys back in the studio. All right, so that's gonna do it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave me a thumbs up, really appreciate it. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about the video, and if you have any tips or tricks you'd like to share with anybody. And with all that said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Shoo.